Welcome back, everyone. Going to the second half here. Dropped frames. Zeke, let's start with you. I know you've been playing some No More Heroes 3, and I haven't seen any gameplay of this. How is the third and I think final No More Heroes? I think Suda51 is out there saying this is the end of Travis Touchdown's story. Yeah.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So how's the old No More Heroes?
It's
No More Heroes?
excellent. It's excellent. It's got the same style and swag that all the other No More Heroes games played or had. And just before you ask, have I played the previous ones? I played one, No More Heroes 1 all the way through. I played No More Heroes 2 up to a certain point where a boss fight was difficult, but the frustrating part was that it was a 10-minute fight every time, and then you have to do it again if you died and stuff like that. So it was just I quit. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. But so I played, a bit of 2.
Yeah.
And I love the style, and it's got that pseudo weirdness that you grow accustomed to if you play any of his games. And it's just like the other games where you play Travis Touchdown, which is obviously the best name of any video game character ever. And you have a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber. It's basically a fluorescent light on a stick that you hit things with. And there's a list of aliens that have come down from the stars. And it's just like the first one, there's 10 of them. And you're trying to work your way up the list to be number 1. The number 1, cosmic force of beatdownness.
Yeah.
By slashing your way through the list. But it has all the signature No More Heroes 3 things, including ways to make money. Well, you can mow the lawn. You can pick up trash.
Naturally.
You can do all these fucking weird ass.
What is this,
jobs.
Yakuza?
That's what I'm saying. But it's way more menial. It's Yakuza has if you're running around, it's got this music and you're oh my god, da, da, da. This is just Travis Touchdown's he's just mowing the lawn with swag, he's got a bop on, and you're just moving this lawnmower over top of the grass, and then you get money, and there's 2 kinds of currency. There's the money currency, which you pay for consumables and whatnot, and then there's it has an acronym. It's WEPM or WBP something, whatever. But it's your power-ups currency. So you go to your home base, and there's a cabinet, a game cabinet there, and you go to the game cabinet and you power up your attack or your special or your whatever. So in order to progress in the game, you have to defeat all of the 10 guys. But in order to get there, you have to have it takes a certain amount of money to open up the new area to go to it. But then once you get there, or well, at least once I did, after the second one, because I'm on the third one right now, the third space boss.
Yeah.
You realize one of the barriers for entry to fighting one of the bosses is you have to do these little fights. If you do 4 or 5 little fights before you can get to the big fight, and the trash mobs are fucking hard. So you realize oh shit, I'm way under leveled. Okay, so you have to you can't avoid doing menial jobs and making money and powering yourself up and whatnot. So that's basically the loop. It's get money, get power, fight space alien boss. This is the second boss.
Oh, okay.
And it is a
what's the name of this one?
Is it polygonal or polygonal? I'm not sure. A polygon.
Polygonal.
Yeah, it's a polygonal, wearing pants, disco pants, a skirt. You see it. It's fucking weird, and I think it's called. What was it called, guys? Black Hole Face or something like that. They have the best names too. The next boss I'm fighting, her name is Velvet Chair Girl.
Okay.
I love it. The naming in these games are just fantastic. Mr. Black Hole, that's what it was. Mr. Black Hole. But yeah, it's fun. It's rockets. The music in the game is fantastic. It's all kinds of different styles of music. There are nods, homages, not necessarily Easter eggs, but like to lots of other different genres, games, movies, all the type of stuff. Even some of the music. Like I was in the overworld, like cruising around on my Akira bike, which is exactly what it is, slightly different, but it's definitely from Akira. And I heard like it was like from Zelda. I'm like, that is fucking Zelda music right there. It's exact like the first three notes are but that's everywhere. Like throughout the entire like experience thus far, it's nods to all that shit, like all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Ready Player One, but like in video game form. It's great.
Sweet.
But yeah, it's fantastic. It's an action game. The thing that there's a couple things I don't like about it, but it's I probably didn't like it in the previous games. The controls are there's no move canceling, which is really frustrating because if you're in the middle of doing like a heavy attack, you go like, do like a slice name. If you're in the middle of doing that, you are open to any attacks. They will just like whoop your ass. So you have to time your heavy attacks because you cannot stop.
Can't like roll cancel or anything out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It also has input saving. What is it called when you press a button and it doesn't happen until later because you're doing something else?
Queuing. Yeah, queuing.
Yeah,
input
queuing. So like if you're in the middle of a heavy attack and you're like near the end of the heavy attack, and you press a jump button after like a second after the heavy attack is done, then you'll do the jump. It's like, no, I wanted to do the jump when I pressed the button. Input buffering. There you go.
Yeah,
it has that. So you got to get used to that. But I mean, we played games like that. Dark Souls has it. Input buffering. It's just something you get used to. It's frustrating to play like that after being spoiled with games that are like, oh, you press the button and it happens. No matter what you're doing at the time, the thing you want to do happens then.
Sure.
But you don't play. I mean, I don't personally play the game for the crisp controls. It's more for the style, the swag, the weirdness, the story. It's I'm sure we'll talk about Psychonauts too, but it's much like that. Like if you like the original, you're gonna love this one too. It's really, really good thus far. So
cool.
I'm excited to jump back into it. I'll be jumping back into it tomorrow.
Nice. How many bosses are there? Aren't there 6 or 8 or something like that? 8 members. There's 10. Okay.
Top 10.
There you go. The top 10.
Mm-hmm. And every time you beat one, it's got that old video game cabinet like leaderboard screen. It's all in like 8-bit.
Oh, nice.
Has the name and the score or something like that.
Nice. Cool. Is that Switch only or is it also on PC? Apologies if you already said that.
It's Switch only. It is Switch only.
That's what I thought.
That's kind of what is keeping me away from it.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I absolutely get that. And that's another complaint that I have. I either want to complain that people didn't follow Nintendo's suit because they were first with the controllers and stuff of putting B and A in the opposite, non-alphabetical order. I wish everybody like Xbox's controllers did that. Or I wish Nintendo was like, all right, we give up. We'll do it now.
Never.
Something.
It'll never happen.
Fuck, man. Playing PC games, I use an Xbox controller. I use my Elite controller for PC games.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the garbage collecting side mission, and it's a slow time event. It's not even a quick time event. It's a slow time event. Super easy to get, but I failed it like 3 times in a row, not getting any of the button prompt presses correctly because I had it backwards every time. It's like, press B. That's B. Nope, that's A, dickhead. No, I'm going to press B this time. No, you didn't. You pressed X. You went on the other side of the controller for that because you were so fucking anxious before the fucking prompt came up.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll probably never change that. So
yeah,
it's just how it goes. It's just how it goes.
I know. And for those of you saying, yeah, I can remap it, but it doesn't remap it on the screen.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I mean, it's whatever. Like going back from using an Xbox controller to playing any Nintendo games, it's not like it's not something I do a lot. I don't play a lot of Nintendo games, so it doesn't affect me a lot. But when I have to play something on Nintendo, man, it's a bitch.
That's how it goes. They're not going to change anytime soon, most likely. You checked out the Riders Republic Open Beta. I think you were the only one of us to do so. Yeah. How was that? We heard a lot of favorable things about it. Did you find it favorable? Did you enjoy it?
It's Watch Dogs 2 all over again. I
have no idea what that statement means.
So the gameplay is actually pretty fun. It's kind of cool. I liked the zooming around. I liked it. But oh my God, everything in between the gameplay is basically like a group of 40 to 50-year-olds in a room saying, how can we cater to the kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's like all the dialogue is like, yo, that was flip nasty shiz nozzle. That was so cool, man. That was the sickest of the super dank nasty. And it's just like, and in some cases, the character's like 40 years old talking like this. And it's just, it's so painful. It's so, I think as gamers get older, I kid you not, I think that it would benefit companies for games like this to have a toggle in the options. And it's just an on-off. And it's lit, ? And that's it. So it's like, would you like your game to be lit? Or are you a generally normal person? Because like, it is so difficult to like actually get any kind of like, want to continue in it. Like boomer mode, call it boomer mode. Yes or no? Absolutely. But I mean, like the game was actually pretty cool. I like the racing. You can go in, dude, I kid you not. You put it in first person on like a downhill bike mode, legit reminded me of pod racing. Like I said it as a joke. And then I was like, oh God, like this actually kind of feels like pod racing. Like you're taking turns super fast. You're braking on corners and sliding around them. Like it actually was really fun. This was pretty cool too. Every so often there's like big events where you and hundreds of people, or I think it's like 75 or something, like some large amount of people get together in like a giant race. And then you just like race against them. I mean, there's a lot of really fun, cool stuff in this. There's skiing, there's biking, there's snowboarding, there's trick stuff, there's rocket bikes, there's air things. This mode here, watch this. Oh, it's not here yet. Oh, yeah, it is. So if you notice, like the back of my skis, now it's rocket skiing. And then you keep going down and eventually you go off like a hill and then all of a sudden you're flying and you have to then fly through different stuff. Like there's some really fun, cool stuff in this game. Even getting between the missions is done in like this open worldy style that's actually pretty enjoyable. But yeah, oh man, they really try hard the dialogue between it, and they try to add like just like super cool characters, and it really hurts. It really hurts at times. You'll see right here. I think I miss it this time. Yeah, I was pretty pissed. You get pretty pissed here. But if you watch this, when you make it through, oh God, okay,
maybe third try.
When you actually make it through there, you'll see what I'm talking about here. Oh God, okay, well maybe not. This is
what were you trying to do there, bud?
It's right here. He got it.
Here we go. Check it out. Boom. There you go. So then you're in the air and you're floating around and you're doing like air stuff, which is kind of fun. So, yeah, 4 times the charm.
Now are these?
But yeah,
are these player-made levels or is this all Ubi levels?
I have no idea if player-made levels are even a thing. Okay. I'm pretty sure I did all Ubi levels. There are, for the record, a lot of Ubi levels, and then they also have like challenges in between them. Here's first-person mode, which is really cool, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool racing in here. I think if you just there's really nothing, content worthy in those cutscenes. So if you just like, skip through them, which you can do, thankfully, I think it's just fine if you're like me and you really just don't like that kind of the lit speak. Yeah. You can just like go through them, but no, I had a good time with it. And what I will say is I looked for it, but couldn't find it. But if this game has an easy to do race system where you can race with your buddies, like I could see it being like a super cool thing to do with like your streaming community and stuff.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
See right there, you fly through a ring and you're back on like downhill.
Right. Right.
That's the aspect I love about it. That I this is the first time I'm seeing it. I think that's a fucking brilliant idea to make races like completely different from section to section of the race.
Sure. Yeah.
Like somebody like triathlon.
Somebody in chat said, how will Co handle it when his kids, when they get to teenage and speak like that in the game? Oh, that's when I'll just give them to someone else.
Just pass them along.
Yeah. Just,
It's true. That's true. Let me ask you this though. This is a full price game on release, right, Co? Like it'll be a $60 game.
I believe it is. I think it's like a steep kind of thing.
So
I think this is basically like a multi use. What's the best thing here? What am I trying to say? Multi-vehicular,
Sure, that works.
Something steep. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like that's maybe where I have. Is there enough variance in the gameplay types and in just of what you played? Did it seem like there was going to be a lot, like $60 worth of this, or is that maybe where you're a little worried?
If you like this kind of thing, I feel the same way about this game as I would like a racing game.
Okay.
Like if you're some people, oh, man, this part was rough. This part was really rough because I kept going back like right before the crash. Yeah. It's kind of like a racing game. If you're invested, oh man, if you're invested in,
I like them.
Oh, it is. If you're invested in the gameplay loop, I think you could absolutely get $60 out of this game.
Okay.
You get stars, I think they are for doing different challenges. And like each race, you can get like anywhere between like 1 to 5 stars, depending on how you're doing and such. I was racing against a guy with 2,200 stars.
Holy shit. Okay.
In the closed beta, apparently, was the only other time he had played. So, right. I mean, there are people that are clearly getting, are going to get their worth out of this game, no question. And the gameplay loop itself, if you like racing and stuff, it's pretty fun. Like, I had a pretty damn good time with it. These types of games are not normally my jam, so I don't know if I personally would get $60 out of it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to buy it yet.
Yeah.
But I will say that the time that I played with it, outside of the lit speak, I had a good time with it.
That makes a lot of sense. I having played the Crew 2 and seeing how quick it goes, like we just saw right there, from skis to like jetpack, I kind of wonder if they saw what they did with the Crew and like brought that into here. Like it's a hybrid of like steep plus a little bit of the mechanics from Crew 2 built into whatever this be, Riders Republic. Well, I'm curious to see how this does also on just like a sales thing, because they clearly thought that steep needed a rework, right? Like this could have been steep too in a lot of ways.
Oh, this is just, yeah, absolutely. It does feel like even the overland game between the events and stuff, because we played a tiny bit of steep.
Yeah,
feels very similar.
Yeah,
feels very similar.
That makes a lot of sense. They're probably utilizing a lot of different tech, or a lot of the same tech rather.
This is the rocket bike.
Oh God.
It handles about as well as you would think a rocket bike would. Yeah.
It's cool they're keeping it fun though, and it's not just like all real world things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much like you see that guy that just rode by as a giraffe, I think, or something. Like there's a lot of like, it's very goofy.
Yeah, I saw the giraffe and the T-Rex costume, I think is what Jericho was using, which is just a giant inflatable T-Rex type deal that looks about what you would expect in terms of absurdity. It's pretty fun seeing those people crash. I miss a racing game with good crashes.
At one point, it was just like showing an end race scene, and I'm just like randomly talking, and this girl like tumbles and flies and breaks her arms in multiple places, and then just lays there on the ground.
Jesus,
and I was
Christ.
Just like, like she's dead.
Is there an option for collision?
You just watch someone die. I know that when I played against other people, I was definitely like, people were saying it was like Fall Guys in some ways. Like you definitely were kind of like it's a little laggy. So you never really know like if it's just lagging a little bit or if you're actually bumping into people. But yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah.
Cool. I know both of you have played Psychonauts 2. Did you both finish it? Are you guys both?
I did.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, Zeke finished it. I played for probably 4 or 5 hours, but haven't gone back after that. Not because it's not any good. It's just haven't gone back to it yet. Let's talk about it here for a little while. I'll pull up footage from both of you guys. Zeke, I think you are probably arguably the biggest Psychonauts fan out of the three of us. How'd you feel about the second one?
I thought it was fantastic. It picks up right where the game left off. The first game left off, not counting
The VR.
the VR game.
Yeah.
Which I bought and it was on sale. But it picks up like a day after, I think, the last game finishes, and it goes right into it. It jumps right in, and it's just like.
Quick, Zeke, not to stop you, but we have people in chat that are requesting no spoilers. Just a heads up.
Yeah. I'm showing.
Oh, okay, sure. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you.
This is very early on in the game. This is part 2 of VOD. So if it cuts to any major story stuff, since I've seen this, I'll skip. I'll cut away.
No, this should be fine. This is the very first area.
Yep.
Yep. So the story starts, and you, Rasputin, you start in the you are a fledgling member of the official Psychonauts. You have it's not an intern.
It is an intern.
Is it intern? Is it called intern?
Yeah. You're an intern of the Psychonauts. Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was a different word for it, but
I think it's intern.
They give you like a sticker, right, that says like intern on it or something.
Yeah. The point that I played up until it said intern.
Yeah. So you start in the lobe, the
mother lobe.
Mother lobe. The mother lobe.
Lobe.
Yeah, it has all these different places. Like this is like the food court kind of. It looks like, but you see right off the bat, you got a shop for a barber shop, bowling, mailroom, all this kind of stuff. You look at the map and you can go to the classrooms where they teach you how to be Psychonauts and all this stuff. But the first thing that happens to you is the students that have already been there, or the interns that have already been there, they kind of haze you a little bit, so you have to go through a little bit of trial with those guys.
Yeah.
But it's all about the story, the visuals, the music, the sound design is like all of that shit. Voice acting, sound design, graphics, music, style, like it's all top notch. It's all exactly like it's what you want from an updated, like new version of Psychonauts. They got it seems like they got all the voice actors back to do the voices from the previous game.
I didn't detect anyone's off voice, so
there will be a couple of voices you recognize. The voice of Raz is Invader Zim, but also you will find Lur, I think his name, from Invader Zim. He's in there as well, and it's about you. It's about exploring. It's about collecting. There's like there's cards and money, and when you're inside the brain, you collect the figments just like you used to. You collect the there's half a mines that you collect, and the half a mines, like you combine them. If you get 2 of them, it ups your health stat.
Yeah.
There's your Psychonaut badges for all your powers. There's an upgrading system for every power you have. So like pyrokinesis, you form like a little ball of fire, and then if you upgrade it, it becomes bigger. Upgrade again, it burns longer, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's just the thing that the things that stand out for me are the things that you love from Psychonauts. It's just better.
It's just more Psychonauts in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Co, anything else to add to that? I think Zeke covered a lot of it.
Zeke covered pretty much all of my thoughts as well. I was incredibly surprised by this game.
Yeah.
I did not finish the original Psychonauts. I played it like 20 years ago, barely remembered any of it. When they announced this, it kind of came in under the radar. In fact, I had I knew it was coming, but I did not realize how quickly it was coming. Phrasing when I saw it coming up here. When I started playing it, I was like, I'll just check it out. I didn't even know if I was going to do a full playthrough. This game is awesome. It is like a game from the old days. It is nearly bug-free. It is really well made. The music was on point. The graphics were beautiful. The systems all worked well. Everything just kind of clicked. The voice acting was funny. The game itself was funny. It is such a unique and special game. And it's on Game Pass, which is even better. So I mean, it really surprised me. I enjoyed every minute. I ended up finishing the entire thing, and even running around post game because they like changed the game in post game. You can run around and talk to people and stuff. Oh man, I tell you, the level design is so incredibly unique. There's no other game like it, and yeah, it's a fantastic experience beginning to end, and one of the most enjoyable games I played this year.
Yeah.
And someone asked in chat, and it's a very important thing to did you swallow a squeaky toy, dude?
It's coughing.
Coughing, sorry.
Like a squeaky toy. Anyway,
No, Zeke.
Do you need to play the first one to play this one? And my answer to you is twofold. One, get Game Pass. It's the best deal in gaming. I'm not even sponsored. I'm not paid to fucking say that. It's seriously the best deal in gaming to get good games. Second, it's on Game Pass. Play it. Don't ask if you need to play the first one. Play the first Psychonauts. It's fucking good. It's still good. Play it.
Yeah.
But no. Third part, actually. Do you need to play the first one? You should, but there's a 4-minute recap video at the beginning of this game. So if you've never played it or it's been years, they kind of catch you up. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the length of the first
Both games are on Game Pass, by the way. Yeah.
They are. Yeah. Yeah. The length of the first game tells a rather quick story. And a lot of it is you're playing the game for the dialogue, playing both games really for the dialogue, the like little small tangents that characters will take you on, which are oftentimes the funniest aspects of the game. And I think that rings true in the second one specifically for me. And yeah, Co also, I want to reiterate the level design in this game is so good. Just incredible.
Nothing else like it.
Yeah.
Also, I want to read something that somebody said from chat, and honestly, I really couldn't agree more. This is by Cool Coolo. Mental illness is talked and joked about, but in a way that doesn't make the illness the butt of the joke.
Sure.
Very nice. And I agree. Like there are in some cases, there's some really kind of heavy things that they talk about in this game.
Yeah. Especially
involving things that in some other forms could be kind of triggering. But the way that they present it and the way that they talk about it is not only pretty respectful, but it's funny. It like they do it in a really intelligent way.
Yeah.
So props to Double Fine for that.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
Also, I tweeted this, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it again in the off chance that somebody's watching. All guys, if you don't collab on special map packs with Double Fine, you are crazy. Like having Psychonauts 2 maps in Fall Guys, there's basically maps in this that are already Fall Guy level. Like seriously, like you're running around and jumping on platforms and things are whipping back and forth, and like it would be perfect to have like 3 or 4 maps that are Psychonauts 2 Fall Guys collabs. It would be perfect.
That's a good point.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You're saying that's like something you would like to see, not something that's already a thing.
Oh no, something I'd like to see.
Okay.
Like if they're not doing that, they're crazy. Like they're both fantastic companies, and like it would make it would make so much sense.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, I'd fire Fall Guys again if they had a Psychonauts like theme level or levels.
It's true. Let me ask you guys
that would be
this:
an incredibly cool collab.
As two folks who have finished this, and Co, this also goes to you as well. Even though you didn't finish the first one, falls under the like cult classic type deal. It wasn't, it was well received critically, but it wasn't a big smash hit in a lot of ways commercially. Does this game push it to be kind of that big smash hit, or is it another cult classic?
Go ahead, Zeke.
God, it's got a lot of publicity behind it because of Xbox and Game Pass and how they're really supporting Double Fine and I don't know though. It's still very quirky. It's one of those things. I said it while I was playing it to the chat. I said, this is one of those artsy stylized things that if you don't like the aesthetics or how they like the way they size things or place things is very Tim Burton-y, very haphazard a lot of times. And if you don't like the coloring or anything like the aesthetics, it's going to be hard to play the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if this sort of thing appeals to you, then absolutely, I could absolutely understand someone looking at the game going, I can't look at this. it's not for me. It's the asymmetry, the weird angles and shit's and not my thing. It's my thing for sure. But you know, cult. I don't know if it's. I think it's a little big to be a cult classic now. Like now that it's got all the backing, but they are. I mean, they're treating it like it's going to be a big game. Like
there's a lot of marketing.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's full fucking price.
yeah. I mean, it's $60 product. Yeah, outside of Game Pass. Any varying thoughts on that?
So I pretty much agree with Zeke, and he said exactly what I was going to say, which is this game as a game is a product. I probably call it a $60 experience. When you think a AAA game, I mean, everything's high quality, everything works. It's really well done. The voice acting is super on point. Like in terms of the game, it is a fantastic experience beginning to end. In terms of the aesthetic, it is a weird game. It is a weird psychedelic mind trip of a game. It is not going to be for everyone. The people that play this game are going to be people that kind of enjoy that very weird off the beaten path kind of thing. Just the characters look super odd, especially in their like 3D way. Like the way that they draw things, like you look at there's this rat character, the way they look at him the first time, they're like,
dude, I stared at that rat for like 10 minutes.
I know it's very strange. It's very strange. So if that's your thing, if you like weird, then I think that you'll really love this game. But I also think, just like Zeke said, there's going to be people that take one look at this and they're just like, this, I want my farm, animal Farmville town stuff. Like this is weird. This is drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't know. It's just, I think there's going to be some people who are going to be immediately turned off because it's so outside people's normal comfort zone. And in that regard, I think it will probably be a little bit cult classic-y. But in terms of that, it is one of the most well-made cult classic style games I think I've ever played. It was really good. This game almost brought a tear to my eye just because of how well it was eliciting emotions at times. Like just some things clicked so well that I was just like overwhelmed, in terms of how things were going. It was a really impressive game. It is. Double Fine is back. They are very much back.
Yeah.
And it's got some content to it. My hours probably shouldn't be the ones that are like the gauge, but like I had about 28, 29 hours in the game, and I did a lot of side stuff. I wandered around quite a bit. Also, I'm not good at 3D platforming. I knew that back in when Mario 64 was a thing. I knew I was bad at it then, and I'm still bad at it now because I cannot do depth perception or perspective very well when it comes to platforming. So
sure,
that probably added to the hours, but it does have some content. It does have some cool things, cool side stuff if you care to explore a little bit. And I did a bit of it. Like if it's any indication, I got about 45 of 57 achievements.
Okay.
Cool. I went mostly straight through it, did a little side stuff here and there. It took me about 16 hours.
Yeah. That's what I read was 16 to 20 hours.
And for the record, at 16 hours, at a $60 game, normally I say about $2 per hour, but this was real high quality hours. I'd say $60 for the 16-hour game is just fine.
Cool.
Again, it's on Game Pass, so awesome.
It's on Game Pass. That's always something. The asterisks on anything that we're saying. It's on Game Pass.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's on Game Pass, which is freaking amazing.
I remember seeing this, and I'm glad Leland Grant in my chat brought it up. He said, "I like how you can turn off falling damage and other options within the options. So if you're just not into platforming or you just want to see the story aspect of this, you can just like breeze through it." And kind of take the struggle out of it in a lot of ways and just get the funny quips and the funny writing. Because there's a lot of that in this game. And in fact, I would say it's the heart of the game in a lot of ways. It's the characters and the voice acting and the story in general. So check it out.
I see you all 20, 24 hours, 100%, all the achievements. Yeah, I see you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're great. Okay. Here's my verbal pat on the back.
There you go. Glad we got that out there. Is this Icarus beta stuff still going? Was this a one weekend deal? It was one weekend deal. Okay. Let's talk about it. I saw this pop up over the weekend and also introduce what Icarus is, because I think a lot of people see this and think survival game, but there's some quirkiness to this.
Yes, Icarus is Dean Hall's. Let's get that out of the way early. It
Yes.
is Dean Hall's of DayZ's next game. It is primarily a survival game. It is generally a Rust style game. It does have some interesting stuff to it though. Right now, this beta was a sandbox. It was not really the game itself.
Oh, okay.
It has a nice tech tree. It has some decent building stuff. It has some basic survivability elements. And the gotcha, the thing that is going to be something that is going to like hopefully give the game some longevity, is the fact that you're dropped onto a planet. You have to work your way into establishing a quick base and stuff. But the point is that you have to expedition out to get this stuff called exotic matter. And then once you have that, you go back to your pod, you get off the planet. And if you don't before a certain time limit, which is days long, then your character is permadead, from what I understand.
Huh.
And then you take that up to the top and you buy a bunch of stuff for your next run. So there's the tech tree. It's 4 different tiers, and the tech tree kind of leads you down basic crafting stuff. You also have a perk tree where you can kind of perk out your character to, be better at different things, get more resources from harvesting and such like that. So the premise is that you're constantly like going up and going down, getting exotic matter, growing out your character, growing out your repertoire of available things as you're buying stuff off the space station before you go back down. There's supposedly going to be a bunch of different biomes. There's going to be like reasons to explore the planet, things like that. This was a very basic test. It was in like one biome. It didn't have any of like the big storm events, which is something you have to look out for. And what the Icarus beta was a very small look at what could be. And this game could be super cool. I could see myself playing this game for a good amount of time. If they add enough interesting area to explore, if they add good reasons to explore, if there's interesting reasons to go back down after going to the top, if the storm stuff is engaging and interesting. Right now, basically, you have to build a little place. And when a storm comes, you have to get in it or you get exposed too much and I think you die or lose health or something. If there's very interesting like natural developed disasters and stuff that you have to prepare for and avoid, that could be really cool. But really all we saw from the beta was that the building mechanics are definitely in the game. The harvesting and stuff is working as intended. There was just some animals running around, but they were kind of buggy and kind of weird. There is a fire system, which caused some very interesting
I saw a lot of that
to come out of this game. Yes.
Yeah.
And the fire system is pretty fun. I do like how they did that. For some reason my house kept catching on fire. I don't really
caused
have any
it.
idea
So
what
I
happened.
saw that happen to a bunch of different streamers. What causes the fire to occur?
So some of the best clips are basically you walk through fire or you get set on fire. And then at that point, anything you touch can begin the process of your base burning down. So like one of the best clips, I think, to be blunt, is from a streamer named Burke Black. And the late shift, his crew had built a relatively big base. And it's from Gassy Mexican's perspective, who is AFK. And you see Burke accidentally walk through the fire and then start walking around the house, not realizing he's setting the whole thing on fire. And then when Gassy Mexican sits back down, he's literally staring at an inferno and Burke's screaming that he doesn't know what happened. And it was pretty fantastic.
Nice.
So yeah, it's an interesting system. Apparently you can build stone and stuff later, so it becomes a lot less of an issue. But yeah, it definitely is a lot of fun. What's also cool about it is the fire system is very cool. When something burns, it like catches on fire and then the HP goes down and then little tiny bits and pieces of it start falling off. So it's like it's a pretty intense system. It's not just like fire on or fire off state. Like they actually have things. It's a very ASMR experience as you're everything's crackling and falling apart bit by bit around you. So yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights.
What I'm going to try to find the clip here real quick. Big question, I think, when anyone sees Dean's name attached to a game is, you think this will ever see 1.0?
So here's the thing. Dean is famous for DayZ, and he's famous for the project taking forever and not really getting done. To his credit, or not to his credit, the game went very slowly. And, that was a big deal. However, Dean left the project years ago. So there's that. Hey, buddy. So, it's the kind of thing where, do I think this project could succeed? There's a lot of people working on this project. So I absolutely think it could succeed.
Yeah.
So, and I will say it's for a beta, it's in a pretty good spot. So, it definitely does still have some work. But at the same time, I just from what I've played, there's definitely a lot of potential in Icarus for sure, and I plan on definitely revisiting it as it goes on. In the following weeks and months, they're going to be doing different betas over the weekend, and they're going to be doing different biomes, different weather effects, all that kind of stuff. So I'm planning on kind of dipping in on those and checking out the different biomes, seeing how they are, and seeing how they all function and stuff.
Dude, that heat distortion is fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like
it's a cool fire
heat wave
system.
distortion, like the way it makes it like wavy, like it's awesome. That's really cool.
By the way, one of the best parts of that clip is Gassy just sits down, and I think he's basically just like, "What the?"
Yeah, let's see.
Like he just looks around. It's pretty great. And of course, another great part of this clip is at the beginning when Burke's walking around, not having any idea what he's doing. You can see him just like casually walking around.
Yeah, Max goes, "What the actual fuck?" Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
It's
pretty great.
So I wasn't really paying attention until there was fire on the screen because once I saw building, I kind of tuned out. So you may have covered this. Are there enemies? Like, is there like anything to fight or?
Not really now. Apparently I think it's called like it's exotic matter, which I think what you're gonna be getting eventually is in hazardous areas. So none of that is in the game right now. None of those systems are on. This was just a super basic beta test this last weekend. But eventually you will have to get the tools together to survive in the areas where you can go and get the exotic matter. In terms of enemies, there were wolves and there were bears, and they will very much kill you. But they are in a very basic state right now, and fighting them is also in a pretty basic state. So they were, if you were trying, they were a little more than a nuisance. But they would kill you if you let them, for sure.
So base building isn't like a mandatory thing.
Base building is a somewhat mandatory thing because I don't know if they're going to have caves. And one of the big things in this game is that there are storms that you can't be out in. Like basically the idea behind Icarus, the lore behind Icarus, is that this was a planet that they attempted to terraform and failed. So you actually have like oxygen, like you can't breathe on this planet. So you're having to build like oxygen tanks and use oxide to fill balloons. And then you breathe out of the balloons and stuff like that. So when a storm comes, a bar starts filling at the bottom called exposure. And I thankfully have not gotten to the point where it fills up, but I'm pretty sure that that's not a good thing. That being said, if you get covered, then the exposure bar quickly starts going down. So it may be the kind of thing where you can just find caves and things like that, and then just go into the caves during storms, or find local caves and kind of wait out the storms in there, and then keep exploring. But the main point of the game is to get the exotic matter, and you're going to have to be a little prepared to get that. And depending on how you play the game, I'm not sure how many options they're giving you in terms of allowing you to level up and stuff without building a base.
Do they give you now? I know this is just real nitpicky and shit, but do they give you any like reasoning as to why like there's plants and fire and all that shit, but no oxygen?
Oh, absolutely. They attempted to terraform the planet and failed. So the premise is that like even the animals and stuff they were brought from Earth and genetically modified to exist on this planet, and they're kind of like like everything is tailored to this environment, but it's not tailored for human life, which is why you have the oxygen stuff. It was a failed venture as a whole on the planet. This is just from what I understand. This is just from what I've heard from like random streams and snippets. There may be more to it. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Honestly, it just like stuck in my mind. I was like, no oxygen, but fire. Okay.
And actually, let me hold on. Let me correct this a little bit. It's not that there isn't oxygen. It's that the air is toxic for humans. So you have to breathe the oxygen. So there is obviously oxygen because the fire and stuff. It's just the air is toxic.
Sure. Video games.
Someone said that. Now I don't know if this is true or not, but I don't know if you heard or saw, but someone said, Humdrum in my chat said Dean Hall spent hours in different streamers' chat answering questions and listening to feedback.
Yes. I think he was even on Sacriel's stream.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. I saw multiple streamers. I think Anthony Compan as well had that he was going to be playing with devs. Dean Hall to his credit, is trying very hard to make this a success. It's basically been everything he's been talking about and doing for like the last little bit. And if you believe what he's saying, he's going to be working on this a lot over the next little bit before it comes out.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this is, unfortunately, you do have to pay to get into the beta. So there is that. But at the same time, according to their open beta schedule, like we're going to be seeing a lot of different aspects of the games as the open beta stuff happens. So if you don't want to give Dean Hall any money. Just stay tuned to the open betas and see if it's progressing to a point where you feel comfortable playing it. I can tell you from playing it already, it feels much more like a game than honestly DayZ ever felt for me. DayZ always had this just like inherent jank to it.
Yeah.
This felt like an actual survival game. Like it felt like a Rust game. You know, like the core components worked fine. You can see I'm sitting here building. I'm not really having any issues. There's a little weirdness, you know, placing some pillars and stuff. But I mean, in terms of building and everything, it felt like a pretty standard survival game.
Yeah. I want to say too that Dean has like fairly large backing, monetary back.
Yes.
What am I trying to say? He's got a lot of money in this game. It's helpful to make it. I remember he was at Sacriel's wedding and kind of pitched this game to most people there. So he's been working on it for a while with his team. Dean's also a really funny guy just to hang out with in general. Type of guy that went to Sacriel's wedding and instead of renting a normal car, opted for a Lambo and drove that to Chris's wedding as his rental. So
was it missing like a door, part of a tire, like DayZ or
nope. It was it was just a casual Lambo.
Did it have, just out of curiosity, did it have like a DayZ zombie painted on the hood? Or,
no, it was a rental,
no?
so he didn't get a chance to. I'm fairly certain that he actually like went. There was some. What did he do? He like went and returned it for a different sports car or some shit. There was something about the Lambo that he didn't quite like. So he went and got something else, if I recall correctly. That was a while ago.
You have something that doesn't like go so fast.
Dean's a character. He's a lot of fun to hang out with. He's a wild one for sure. So he did really well with DayZ, essentially, is what I'm getting at.
So anyway, TLDR, I actually, after playing this, I do have relatively high hopes for this.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it could be cool, and I'm planning on kind of following the open betas and seeing how it develops.
Do you run? I know some of the bugs were the funnier clips that I saw. Do you have any good bugs that you ran into?
We ran into a good amount of bugs, but most of them involved fire in some way. I will say, me and Barry found a very interesting bug where if you flip through your inventory quickly with the mouse wheel, it would lag me out frequently. And then at one point, Barry just in comms goes, "Hey, Co, can you do that again real quick?" I was like, "What? Flip through the inventory?" And I do real quick. And he just kind of goes, "Yeah, that's totally lagging my game out too." I was like, "Excuse me?" And
Weird.
Sure enough, we started testing it. If either player starts like really flipping through their inventory quickly, so like a bunch of items are appearing in front of them fast, basically the whole server
can't keep up with it.
So,
interesting.
Needless to say, the game is definitely in beta.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get this stuff addressed.
Too many server calls or something, and I guess was lagging it out. Weird.
Yeah.
Games
Did you
are
feel
weird.
like you had like a goal like all the time? Like, did it ever feel like
to be blunt,
like
you
I
had
can
zero goals?
I'm just gonna build blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, there's really nothing to do in the beta. It was just to play around with the game mechanics. You couldn't get the exotic matter. I don't even think you could leave the planet. Like it really was for all. Like there's a lot of companies that use the term beta loosely. This was an actual beta. Like, well, actually, I'd say it was more of an alpha. Really, because I mean there were core components missing. There were entire like cornerstones of the game are not in the game yet. So it was really just like a little sandboxy kind of look at what you can do in the game. A lot of skills and stuff had like not available in beta, on top of them, so you couldn't get them.
I am pulling up this footage real quick that came out for Midnight Suns. We'll look at this here real quick. I only bring it up because it's a little interesting. So this game, which was announced last week, this is the gameplay reveal. We saw the cutscene reveal last week.
This is Firaxis' game, right?
Yes, this is 2K and Firaxis with the Marvel IP. So it is a card-based strategy game. The team roster is 3 heroes plus environment impacts gameplay. The cards can be upgraded. And there is I'm reading tags from Nibillion's Twitter, who's a like industry news insider type person. There's a social system that impacts tag team abilities between heroes. So it's a card XCOM thing.
JP.
Yeah.
JP.
What's that?
Do you buy the card pack?
I don't know. I would. That's a good question, actually. I wonder if they cover that. I don't actually know that answer, even being NDA'd about this game.
Oh God, I hope not.
I would think not. I would think that. I would hope not. Let's go with that. I wouldn't think one way or the other. I would hope not.
Anytime I see cards, unfortunately, I have to be like, oh, unless it's like a Slay the Spire kind of deal or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not out yet. I'm so I want to see what this is about.
I mean, that was fairly short in terms of the here. Okay, here's a little bit more. Okay. So it's XCOM in the sense that you're in like a little arena type situation, but it's nothing else. It's not grid based or anything. It's, So it looks like you combo the card type situation. Yeah, I don't know about the.
Pretty.
I'm guessing the cards add like an RNG element to it then. Like whatever cards you draw, like that's what you get. That's what you're able to do that round or something.
Yeah, I guess they're probably
doesn't
saying
bother me.
that in the video, right? But we're not getting the audio. Kind of short on the actual gameplay stuff. A lot of in-gameplay footage, it looks like. I just want to see more card stuff. Oh, wait, here's some like card drawing. What is this? So you're confirming the selection. So that one's like taunt enemy. That's an attack. The chains.
That's
two
after
attacks.
you open the loot box that you just purchased.
Yeah, I wonder where this is confirming the selection from.
No, maybe it's like they leveled or something. Or beat a mission. Maybe get them from beating missions or something.
Maybe.
That looks like a mission reward. That's exactly what mission rewards look like in a lot of deck builders.
Yeah.
Like, here's your
right there.
reward.
Revealed
Pick
new
one.
abilities. Yeah, select one.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe you buy them with like a currency or something in the game.
Yeah. Does 2K have, has 2K ventured into the like in-game monetization stuff a lot? I'm trying to think of their past games.
I'm thinking of like Borderlands and stuff. I mean, doesn't Borderlands have the gold keys aren't really the same. That's a little different.
There's NBA 2K.
NBA, of course.
Okay,
From the
that's true.
official Marvel's Midnight Sun checkmark Twitter account, hey folks, regarding our battle card system, there are no loot boxes in Marvel's Midnight Suns or related microtransactions to get more cards, i.e. gamma coils. We will have purely cosmetic character skins for purchase that do not affect game balance in any way.
Cool. Okay.
That's
That's
there you go.
right way to do that.
I'm glad they head that off at the pass.
Yeah, right at the start.
So there you go.
Oh, you pessimistic motherfucker saying yet. Come on, man. They can surprise us, right? I'm ready to be surprised.
Well, we got 10 months till that comes. I
Look,
think that's
you
March
can't
sometime.
buy the card packs. Okay, that's ridiculous. Use gamma coils for that. Okay.
Yeah.
You can buy the gamma coils though.
I think you got to add one more step in there, Sco. I think you got to add like
Yeah. Look,
you have to buy Stardust. And from the Stardust,
That's
then
correct.
you can get
Oh,
gamma coils.
That's
Gamma
correct.
coils.
Dude, as someone who spent 60 hours in mobile games in the past week, it's crazy how like I've actually had to message my my mod and be like, hey, is there a way you can spend money on this? And then it would be like a breakdown, like a fucking giant graph of like, yes, but you have to start here. There's a way to do that. And then you turn that into that. And then you get a chance at that. And then that turns into that finally. So yeah, there is a way to do that in the game if you want to. But
Speaking of mobile games, what you been doing lately, Japers?
I haven't streamed any games really. The game that I have streamed is Aliens, which was with you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
But apart from that, I've been playing the mobile game Marvel Future Revolution, which is a straight up MMO on the iPad, which is really weird for me to see. Like it's a full blown MMO that does have straight up pay to win elements in it. But I'm 10% from max level, which is level 100 in the game. And I've spent $0. A lot of grind though, which is, what you expect from the mobile game world. So we'll see how that goes.
How many hours you say you put in?
I think around 60. Let's see. Granted, 60 hours played on a mobile game means that the iPad was open for 60 hours because it plays itself. You don't.
Oh yeah, sure.
You don't actively play it in that regard. Let's see here. Hold on. You have to log in. I am at. Is that in settings? Where is that at? I'm fumbling with
I
this.
see people saying Jack O. I don't know what Jack O is. Like I've seen it.
Jack O's a
few times
Guilty
here and there.
Gear.
That goes the new Guilty Gear.
Guilty
character,
Gear DLC
Oh,
character. Yeah.
okay.
What is? I'm at 3 days played, 3 hours. So whatever, 70. Jesus, I'm at 75 hours played between game launch last Wednesday. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because let me just go ahead and check and see what I've got in the last week. Does it say last week? I think might have a breakdown. Maybe it doesn't. Well,
On what?
I played Hades. It's been my off-stream game for a while, but I 100%ed it a while ago as far as achievements go.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I hadn't done yet, and it's the 32 heat act finish. Like you have to finish a run.
That's tough.
Killing Hades with 32 heat. And I've been trying that for a good 20 hours, if not more.
Dude, that's
it's
difficult.
a fucking nightmare, dude. It's tough.
Can you choose your weapon? Like, what are the parameters around
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything's turned on for 32 heat. Every downside. So you're down a thing at the store every time. You're losing an ability every time you go through a location.
Well, not necessarily.
The abilities you choose are off. It's pretty much isn't it everything about everything.
No. You can you can pump up certain things that give you.
Everything's like 50 plus. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh yeah. No. 32 heat. You still have some options. Like and there are enough of them where you're like, oh, fuck, if I turn one of these down, turn that up. That's worth 3 heat. It becomes like a math problem. You're like, fuck, what can I deal with? What kind of nightmare am I prepared to face if I take this other nightmare that I hate off? You know? So 32 heat is in the reasonably difficult brand, not crazy hard. You're right. And it's a fucking challenge for me. I've been reading this forum of this guy's who's beat 32 heat on with every aspect of every weapon.
Holy shit!
Just
a lot.
Just
of
looking
Hades.
at his he talks about his builds and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I
very
did beat
knowledgeable
that.
about it.
Yeah,
I did beat that with the bow, which makes it significantly easier. Yeah, we did a 32 run heat bow. And that was very hard.
Yeah. Are you just playing
and the
that
reason
Hades
32 heat because there's a statue. No, I've owned it forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got back into it because my wife, she was like, you should play Hades. Like every day. She's like, what should I play for my offline game? Hades. For like a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, I'll play it. Boy. I have never been more not wrong, but like missed out. Boy, did I miss out on Hades when it was like
really good game,
popular and shit. Fuck, it's good. But not the thing is that separates it from other games that could be similar to it is the interactions that you have and the story that you think is going to exhaust itself at some point. And here I am, like, I don't know, 200 hours in, and they're still saying new shit. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
You say that though, but I think the real drawing power of the game is the fact that you can put nuts after it and it works so amazingly well. I think that's something you need to consider.
That's true.
I think they should come out with a DLC. Hades Nuts.
I agree.
And that's like, it's a crazy version of the game.
Yeah.
Hades is nuts. Hades nuts.
It should just be Hades like holding some pistachios, just like.
That's right.
I wonder I wonder if they will make DLC for this because of how successful Hades was, or if they've already moved on to the next thing.
Their thing is generally moving on.
Moving on,
So
yeah. Historically,
it's gonna be very interesting. I really hope we see more Hades. Like that.
Same.
That. Oh man, did it work? It's one of the only games I've done like back-to-back playthroughs of beginning to end, and loved every minute of it. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Good one.
There's been a whole new wave when that game hit Game Pass of folks playing it for the first time. So it's crazy to see the Hades craze is back after the game's been out now, at least in playable form for 4 years or some shit at this point. Like, it's been a while, but only a year, I think, or so since 1.0. So it is.
I think
it's cool.
the general consensus is that now. Go ahead.
It's actually coming up on its 1 year anniversary, September 7th.
Yeah.
17th, sorry.
17th. Okay.
The general, I think, awesome consensus is that now that he's fought up to like the middle, now they need to flip the script and make it so that now Zagreus is fighting all of the Greek gods, the pantheons, the Zeus side, and that he's using all the people that helped him before, like as now enemies. Like flip it, so now he's getting all the people from the underworld to help him make his way up the top.
That'd be sick.
Dude, there are so many of those gods I want to whoop the ass of. Oh, that'd be so
I know, right? It'd be so cool, man. It'd be so cool. And they could put in all new abilities doing that, all new items, new weapons. Like they could, with the creativity in that company, they could just take that light years ahead, and it'd be so good. I really hope they stick with it, dude. If they just move on from Hades, I feel like that's gonna be such a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Unless the other thing they make is, on that level, right? Like then
if they actually do that, that would be insane.
If they come out with a game on something
as popular as Hades, that's completely different than Hades, like right after, like that would be insane.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my Lord.
I would not be surprised though, right? Like I figure, I think everything they've done, they've executed exactly what they wanted to do, and they haven't put out like in Hades style games or Hades levels games every release, but they've put out good games almost every single time they put a game out.
They've all been quality.
Yeah.
The keyword is quality. They're definitely one of those developers that you can tell is still developing for the passion, not the paycheck.
Yeah.
The paycheck's great, obviously, but there's passion in those projects.
For sure. For sure.
Bastion, Transistor, Fire, Hades, like all of them, top notch.
Bastion was still.
And oh my God, their
incredible.
in-house voice team. Oh, oof.
I think you could say, oh my God, their in-house anything. Like I feel like their art director, like
director, music director, like voice director, like all of them. They're just super high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just real quick, if you're out there listening to this Supergiant for whatever reason, one favor for me, make Hypnos a character I can fight. I want to fight him. I thought
you hated Dusa more so than Hypnos. Do you not want to fight Dusa?
No, Dusa's just a cutesy anime character.
Yeah, I thought you hated that more.
She just annoys me.
Oh, okay.
I hate Hypnos. Oh, you got killed by the sting, huh? Maybe don't stand there next time, maybe. And I just, every time I get out of that pool, I'm like, I'm going to tear your head off, you little...
Oh, God. Oh, boy. Hey, you both, I didn't realize this. You both played Tormented Souls. Have we talked about this before?
Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about it before. I'm actually going to maybe finish it tonight.
Okay.
For the cozy. Not going to be very cozy, but for the cozy stream, I'm probably going to dive back in.
Is it
about 7 hours already?
I know only the name of this game and the fact that you've both played it. And now I'm looking at it. It looks like a Resident Evil game. Am I anywhere close?
Tormented Souls is an indie homage to Resident Evil.
And Alone in the Dark.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it on the level of scariness of Alone in the Dark?
Unsettlingness.
Or unsettlingness? Yeah.
Like it is very unsettling what's going on in this abandoned hospital. The worst part, in my opinion, by far, is the voice acting and direction, to the point where it's like it's pretty tough to listen to the characters, to be honest. But on that note, the environments are really cool. Some very cool puzzles. Like there are some actually really interesting, like I haven't seen this in a video game before, kind of puzzles, which was pretty fun. A big house to explore. It very much doesn't really hold your hand. Like it sometimes a character will be like, yeah, you need to go here next. But other times you just like get an item and you have to remember where you think it might work. But yeah, it's been fun. It's a weird Resident Evil Alone in the Dark style adventure game. Heard it lasts about 8 to 10 hours. I'm on hour 7 right now, and I definitely still have a little more to go. But yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's been fun to play.
So I just want to give you like a little example of the dialogue here. I've taken a beverage can out of my garbage. Some people are impossible to please. As soon as they get what they thought they wanted, they always want more. Our team riders and monster girls are no different. they've been dropping some hints lately. It is fucking abominable. It's fucking
just
terrible.
one note flat.
It's like they are reading it with like off a script for like a cold read. Like it's their first time
really
reading it.
Well, is it now? Let me ask you this: is it supposed to be evocative of the first Resident Evil? Because first Resident
Somebody said that
dialogue is fucking abysmal, and it's like a classic abysmal, right?
They have emotions though.
I can't imagine they would want to like. No, I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
I don't think it unless someone was actually sitting there going, no, read that again. That was too good. Like I don't think that was the issue at all. It sounds like it was just very poor voice direction.
Okay.
Voice actors have fine voices and stuff, but they just not only do they not sound like they're talking to each other, just like Zeke said, it just sounds like they're reading lines off the paper. Like every so often there'll be a little twinge of emotion, like if a certain line calls for it, but there's no cogent connection between the dialogue. There's almost no inflection. Like it's just like beginning to end almost every time.
It's actually kind of like if you swapped Resident Evil, it's like the dialogue is fine and it makes sense. It's not like goofy or like whatever like Resident Evil is, but there's no emotion.
Oh, okay.
Flip it over, Resident Evil, the dialogue is fucking weird, but at least they give you something with it.
Yeah. I'll never forget.
And sometimes
like,
yeah, every so often the characters are also just like super dumb. Like you will find out something and then they'll go and talk to somebody else and just be like, I have no idea why that happened. Like it's so strange and weird. And it's just like,
dude, look at this priest real quick.
You literally just told us.
Look at that blang blang. Look at that cross. That cross is like a it's like blinged out, dude. He's got like a Flava Flav cross on.
Jeez.
Crazy,
yeah. Anyway,
like the bigger the cross, the better the faith.
Yeah. What's this game run?
It's like $20.
Okay.
Which, considering I'm like 7-ish hours in and not done, like if you like adventure horror games like this, I'd actually say it's kind of worth it. And like I said, the voice acting. Go ahead.
Important to note: downloadable demo.
Yes, there's a demo. There is a demo. Absolutely. But I will say, like everything besides the voice acting is pretty on point. Like honestly, if the voice acting and direction was really good, I'd be pretty damn impressed with this game. Everything else is cool. Like I've had a good time with it. The combat's a little janky, but I mean it is in Resident Evil 2. Like I'm not expecting them to be able to reinvent that wheel in a $20 indie game.
Yeah.
I also heard somebody said this in chat, but I'm not entirely sure about this. They said it was made by 4 people. I can't confirm that, but it does feel like the team was small. It is by no means like a AAA title, and if someone could confirm that, that would be great. But yeah, I mean it's fun, and if you plan on finishing it like I am, it's definitely worth it.
I had a dev in the chat while I was playing, and I died. There's no autosave, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
there's no autosave in the game.
Resident Evil,
I went a different direction than I guess I was supposed to or whatever, and I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. 'Cause, I like to explore fail conditions. I like to die in games, see what happens. So I don't know if this time was a skill death or because I did it on purpose. Either one, doesn't matter. But I died. I'm like, all right, where do they send me back to? And it's like, oh, nowhere. You're done. The game is over. You start from the very beginning before like cutscenes and all.
Jeez.
I was like, oh, no autosave. And I was like, you did that on purpose? And they're like, yeah, we did that on purpose because you have to find it's like a different Resident Evil game where you find a tape.
The ribbons or whatever,
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you save. And there's a finite amount of them, I'm guessing. But I didn't find it. So I lost 20 minutes of progress, 20 minutes of game. I was like, fuck you too, pal. Didn't even, but it doesn't tell you that. That's the thing that I was a little stuck in my craw about. It's like, it doesn't have an autosave, but it doesn't tell you that either. So
back in my day, Zeke, the game didn't tell you shit. You just played it. There's
back in my day, the game didn't even save.
Yeah.
You had to sit down and beat it beginning to end. And maybe if your power didn't get out, you'd get lucky and pause it and walk away and hope your little brother doesn't break with your machine.
It's true. All true statements.
Not wrong.
Nowadays, all these games just have lit talk and, we can't escape it. Can't escape it. Anything else you guys want to bring up in terms of what you played here at the end of the show? Got about 10 minutes left. We didn't talk about Aliens Fireteam. We all played that. I think.
I mean, we talked about a lot of it during it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think, yeah. I mean, it was fine.
It's fine
for a little thing.
Yeah.
Death Trash Early Access is awesome. I highly recommend Death Trash.
Okay.
The game is just weird and off the wall. You know a game that has like 4 audio options, and one of them is a checkbox to mute puking sounds. You know you're onto something special at that point. So yeah, that's special. Played some more Fall Guys. There's some really, really cool new maps in Fall Guys. They have like this tribal jungle theme going on.
Oh, nice.
And some really fun, interesting new levels there. And I think that's about it for me. Oh, and there's a game coming out tomorrow I'm looking forward to.
I've heard that. Yeah. I actually watched a handful of trailers. There's nothing for me between now and next Wednesday, because that's when the Tales of Arise early access starts. But I might jump in. We'll see. It depends on how much voice acting there is for me. If it's not
a lot.
Yeah, that's where I'm a little bit worried. I don't want to.
And avoid the optimist when making a new character.
Okay. All right. I will avoid the optimist if I jump in. Yeah. Zeke, anything for you?
We talked about Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy last time, didn't we? Or did we?
No, because I don't think we did. Is that
okay?
Was that like a? You've played that game, I thought, or have you never played Indigo Is Indigo Prophecy the same game as Fahrenheit Indigo? Is those the same thing? Oh,
differently named in different regions, but the one I played was on Steam called Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered. But yeah, they're different named for different stuff or for different regions. It's the David Cage opus. It's a.
Would you call it that?
It's his
opus.
Wonderful game. It's great. I enjoyed it. I've never played it.
Weird.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. It is a fantastic fucking like.
This is the one that starts out in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. It starts out as with a murder in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then you unravel the story and you figure out like, oh, okay, that's why. And then you're like, oh, that's the other way. And then you're like, what? That's why? What? Okay. Okay. Sure. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Good job, Dave. But I mean, you're just along for the ride, basically. It's kind of like seeing a car wreck, but with clowns inside. It's like, it's like a mess, but it's fucking funny. The thing that really fucking started to grate on me was everything was a quick time event.
Yep.
Which I don't, I'm not mad about it. It doesn't bother me all that much. But man, in this one, he strung one of the fights out. Like, cause the fights are like all like just a long string of quick time events with very little, and I played it on hard mode, so very little break in the middle there. And I had to do a section of it several times, many times. And it was a long fucking section. So it was just like, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes of just straight up doing like matching the controller, like doing Simon Says with your thumbsticks. And boy, it was tedious.
It looks a little tedious in what we're looking at,
but
here.
Very much worth it.
From a story perspective?
All of that stuff. Yeah. I could have turned it down to easy, but I mean, where there's fun in that? I mean, it was frustrating, but not impossible.
Sure.
But boy, the dialogue and the story, the way it unravels, it's very David Cagey. It's very like, it's like a, Deadly Premonition. It's like a little Twin Peaksy at times, a little FK in the coffee, but, man, it's just a good. Oh, and there are very awkward, like graphically, like there's some sex scenes in there that are not they're just strange to watch, and they're humorous more than anything else, because it's like the graphics are good for the time, but like they're still not quite there. So it's a lot of like kissing without moving your mouth. It's just like.
It was it's a pretty old game, so that stuff wasn't really fully animated. Yeah. But it's fun to go back. It was fun to go back and see those like I'm gonna be tender with you.
like put like a stiff, like non-moving hand on the face. Great, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's on Steam remastered, $9.99. It was well worth my $10. Better than a movie.
$10, not bad, not bad for sure. Well, cool. I think we'll call it an episode there and do some shout outs. So,
oh, I want to say one last thing about Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy.
Sure.
The reason why I want to say it because I want more games to do this. Throughout the game, you collect these like they're just collectible things, and it says like 5 points or 10 points or whatever, and then you unlock like cool making of shit in the main menu screen. Like it shows like the voice actors doing their voices, and it shows like the karate like getting or the like the fight scenes getting like choreographed out and shit. Like I want more of those. Those are great. Please add those to your game.
There you go.
Anyway,
Like it.
Zeke, do some shout outs for us.
Shout outs, you bet. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_II on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, or Ezekiel III, all spelled out on Instagram and TikTok. I will be broadcasting not tonight, but tomorrow. We'll be back Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Back. Travis touchdown. No more Heroes 3. We'll be cruising around on Akira's bike and fighting with George Lucas's sword. It's going to be fantastic. I hope you're there. And that's what we're playing for this foreseeable future. And then I don't know what's coming up next. I think that's all I got planned. So thanks for watching this show and all my stuff if you do. Bye.
Cool. Co, talk to us about a game coming out tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Ko. Tonight we're going to be finishing up for Tormented Souls. And then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET, we are taking a special early look, a few hours early, of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I've been looking forward to this game for a long time. We're going to be doing a 100% playthrough. I don't even know many of the details of the run. We're going to be figuring that out while we play. And again, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET. On that note, also, I'm the Optimus voice pack if you want to use that in the game. And also, our buddy Gears Art actually made us a custom profile picture and art. It's on my Twitter if you want it, and it'll be available tomorrow. So if you want a super cool Asimar Slayer profile picture, that will be available tomorrow for your own playthroughs. And a big thanks to Gears Art for that. So on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. ET, for the beginning of our big adventure in Owlcat's Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous.
That's why you said avoid the Optimus thing. I thought you were saying it was like bad or broken. Or
no, well, it is both of those, but it's also me. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Appreciate the warning. Appreciate the warning.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week with some more drop frames. So we'll see you guys then. For now, we're out of here. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.